Hey, Brittany. How are you? She didn't talk that nice to me. I'm just saying.
Well, welcome to the Banking and Consumer Affairs Subcommittee. I hope everybody had a good week last week with the hiatus that we had here. Madam Clerk, will you open up the vote here? If everybody will clock in there. Well, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any personal orders here before we get started? Representative Hemmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've got an old friend here in the audience, the Administrator of Cumberland University, Courtney, and some students, if they would stand and be welcome today. And a Mount Juliet Chamber.
Any more personal remarks? Well, I need to have one here. We'd like to welcome the Royalty Inn commissioners here with us today. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you. Well, we're going to jump right in there. I know we got a lot on the docket today. A little bit of house cleaning here. Off notice will be House Bill 2455. We're going to roll 1 week. Item number 1, House Bill 2502. We're going to roll 1 week, House Bill 2016. We're going to roll number 11 here, House Bill 1661, 1 week. Item number 12, House Bill 2225. We'll roll it 1 week. House Bill number 13, House Bill 2057 will be rolled 1 week. And House Bill 2611 will be rolled 1 week also. So we're now ready to hear number 2 on the agenda, House Bill 2505. Chairman, please tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. This bill is in support of Speaker Sexton, and he came across something that all of us need to be concerned about. House Bill 2505, this bill makes it illegal to install, operate, or allow the use of crypto ATM in the state of Tennessee. Crypto ATMs are very often used in scams, especially ones that target seniors in our state. These ATMs allow fast, hard to trace transfers on money. In a study by the Attorney General's office in Iowa showed that 96% of transactions were fraud. So off of the press, dated February 26, 2025, at the Iowa Attorney General Brennan Byrd today announced lawsuits against Bitcoin Depot and CoinFlip, Iowa's 2 largest cryptocurrency ATM operators, over their failure that allowed Iowans to transfer millions of dollars to scammers through their kiosks. And in their investigation, the investigation revealed that hundreds of Iowans sent more than $20 million through Bitcoin Depot and CoinFlip ATMs in less than a 3-year period. The majority of scam victims were over the age of 60 years old. And the story goes on, Mr. Chairman. With this, the bill can reduce fraud and protect consumers from financial harm without harming the crypto industry, Mr. Chairman and committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any discussion on the bill? We do have some folks wanting to testify, but if there's no discussion on the bill, we'll just move right along here. Madam Clerk, will you open up the vote? All those in favor of House Bill 2505, vote aye. No if you oppose. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 ayes and 0 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 2505 will go on to Commerce. Thank you, Chairman. Moving on to number 3, House Bill 2537. Got a motion? Second. Chairman, first off, before you get started, we want to wish you a congratulations, and please tell us about Shorty Britches here, your new addition.
Thank you. We had yesterday, my daughter Alex, and all of our family welcomed baby Ella Lane Ungrich yesterday morning. So I got to go home yesterday and visit with them. And she actually texted me just a minute ago, Mom and baby are healthy and they're headed home. And we're excited. And thank you. Thank you.
Sincere congratulations.
That'll be our third granddaughter. So we're slowly racking them up.
That's scary. Me and you close the same age there.
That's right.
Mr. Chairman, please tell us about your bill.
Thank you. House Bill 2537 updates current law to more fully empower the commissioner to determine the appropriate examination frequency for each Tennessee state chartered bank and credit union based on that institution's risk profile, as well as a few other factors. This legislation will also enact language setting forth the commissioner's authority to determine the characteristics of share insurance required to be maintained by each Tennessee state chartered credit union, and adds into law the standards by which the commissioner must make determinations about such insurance requirements. As a note, share insurance is similar to FDIC deposit insurance. Finally, this legislation includes housekeeping language to remove obsolete references to the now defunct State Credit Union Share Insurance Corporation and to correct a clerical error in the Money Transmission Modernization Act. With that, Mr. Chair, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any discussion on the bill? I think we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, will you open up the vote? All those in favor of House Bill 2537, vote aye. In favor, no if you're against. Madam Clerk, please give us the results.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 ayes and 0 noes.
House Bill 2537 will go on to commerce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee.
Yes, sir. We're ready for number 4 here. House Bill 2028 by Leader Faison.
Good afternoon, committee. Certainly good to be with y'all. Mr. Chair, I need to kind of tell you a story to understand what my bill does, so you kind of understand why I'm doing this. 1st of October last year, the second week of October, my wife called me. She said, honey, I own a pest control business. I've had one for over 20 years in Cott County, Tennessee, Newport. She called me. She said, this is the worst week we've had in years. And I was like, what's wrong? She said, we're down 50%. She said, I just did our averages, looked at our bank account over the last 5 years. And she said, because I was so astounded how little we did. And she said, it's the worst in years. We're literally down 50%. So we're kind of getting nervous about this. And the next week comes, and again, we're massively down. Can't figure out what in the world's going on. My wife happened to be in the bank, and one of her friends saw her at the bank, said, hey, Miriam, we were wanting to get a hold of y'all and get y'all to come do our fall spray. October's an incredibly busy time for us for fall sprays. And we Googled you and we couldn't find you. We put Rocky Top Pest Control in, we put Newport Pest Control, and you're off. You're not there. So my wife kind of panics, calls me. She's like, hey, meet me at the office. There's a problem. So we go back and we start trying to find us on Google, which we pay to have a list in there. And we can't find ourselves. We call Yellow Pages. Remember back when we were all younger, you actually had Yellow Pages you could advertise in. But we pay Yellow Pages online now because you don't have the book. And so we called our you can't find anybody at Google. Like we were trying to message to anything. There's nobody to actually talk to at Google, and we're gone. So we called Yellow Pages, and she comes over. She's the East Tennessee director for Yellow Pages. She came out to our office the next day, the following week, and started to tell us that this has been a problem with multiple of her customers. As a matter of fact, in Morristown, in my district, a Hispanic man had a painting company, and he got delisted. And the only thing you can get is an automatic message from Google that says you have business practices that are not dishonest business practice. The only thing you can get from Google when you ask them what's going on. So she tells us he actually went, after about a month losing all of his business from online, he actually shut his business down, got a new LLC, redid it all just to get his business back, and got a new listing. I remembered that we have some wonderful lobbyists that we're friends with, and I reached out to the lobbyist for Google, and they immediately started working on it. It took them over 2 weeks to fix it. We still lost every one of our emails. We didn't get our emails and our review. We have a 4.9 star review on Google. We didn't get that back until January. So in January, I also found out in Kevin Raper's district, in Dan Howe's district, a couple has a heat and air. They reached out to me because they found out they'd been delisted, and there's nothing you can do. So I went to our attorney general. I said, listen, what can we possibly do to get Google's attention? If you're going to take somebody off, this is our bread and butter. This is how we make a living. We can't afford to be down 50% year over year like that if you lose some. So they helped me draft this bill, and basically it's just a cause of action. If you don't alert the company, if Google or these online agencies don't alert that they've taken you down within 24 hours, you can go back through empirical data and prove that you've lost money. It sets up for a cause of action that the state's attorney general can pursue them. And I'm hoping that this gets their attention and makes them realize, you know what, we're a big enough company that we can be able to at least answer if we're going to take somebody off and delist them. And that's what the bill does.
Thank you, Leader, for the discussion there. Any more discussion on the bill? Representative?
Thank you for sharing your story. That's pretty amazing. And you paid for your presence on there, and they never informed you. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. I had no idea that could happen.
Leader?
I would also like to add something. Somebody came in my office today and said, Jeremy, how about scammers? Are we worried that people would just realize that they can get a cause of action against a company like that? And I think it's an excellent question. In the bill, current TCA has a thing considered for small businesses. And we actually list the technical term for small business. You actually have to have a business that you can prove you've lost something before you have any cause of action.
Any more discussion on the bill? Well, I think we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, will you open up the vote? All those in favor of House Bill 2028 moving on to commerce, vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 ayes and 0 noes.
House Bill 2028 will move on to commerce.
Thank you, committee.
Yes, ma'am. Representative Lynn.
I apologize for being out of order, Mr. Chairman, but the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce is with us here today. So if y'all could just give a wave. Happy they're
Great
here.
to have y'all here. We're moving on to number 5 here, House Bill 2052 by Leader Camper. Motion and second.
Thank you.
Do we have?
Oh, I got a second.
Yeah.
I don't love the bill, but I love her.
Well, bye, George. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that motion and second. I really appreciate it. And I was asking to make sure we had an opportunity to discuss the bill because I did have somebody to fly in that should be on the list to testify. So I really appreciate that. I'll just give a quick overview, Mr. Chairman, then if it's okay with the committee, she can
Yes,
testify.
ma'am.
Thank you, sir. All right. So what this bill, what House Bill 2052 does is create a new consumer protection provision regulating dynamic pricing, personalized algorithmic pricing, and surveillance pricing practices in Tennessee. So with technology, things are moving and there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts when it comes to how items are priced. And what's happening here, this bill is going to create, prohibit certain uses of the shelf pricing. And she can talk in detail about how it works, but it's this bill is trying to protect consumers with respect to pricing of grocery items and things like that. So if it's okay, I can bring her up. I would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. We'll go out of session here. And Ms. Camper's guest, will y'all come forward and tell us your name and
He'll control
and
the
who you're
microphone.
with. We're out of session.
All right, thank you all. My name is Haley Nicholson. I'm the Deputy Legislative Director for the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union. We represent 1.2 million workers across the country that work in grocery, retail, and meat packing and processing. And our members put food on the tables for communities right here in Tennessee and across the entire U.S. The bill that has been referred to, HB 2052, is addressing electronic shelf labels, also known as ESLs, and the practice of surveillance pricing. This is a very important issue for our members and also consumers. These shelves and these new technologies are a threat to family budgets and everyone's individual privacy. Grocery retail chains across the country are starting to rapidly roll these out, these ESLs. They're essentially digital price tags that can change prices in an instant. And U.S. food prices, as many of us are aware and our constituents are aware, are nearly 24%. They've risen by 24% from 2020 to 2024. In Tennessee, that translates to, over the past 12 months, food prices have gone up 4.8%. And according to U.S. Census data, that makes the average weekly grocery bill here about $270.45. Asking Tennessee families to pay nearly $15,000 a year to put food on the table. We find this to be unsustainable, and now this technology being introduced could make high prices worse. What this could do, the average grocery store in America has about 31,000 products on their shelves. With ESLs, companies can change the price of an item at the drop of a hat without any kind of warning to the consumers. And prices could speak at peak shopping hours when companies know the stores will be full of customers at certain hours looking to shop quickly. With ESLs, there's no way for us to determine at this point with the technology if consumers are getting a deal or when the store could be potentially squeezing us for every dollar it thinks it could get from those customers. ESLs, as the technology, are essentially cloud-connected devices. They can deploy the use of customer data by using our member information in grocery stores and surveillance technology that will set different prices based on a number of factors. This new type of pricing will eventually replace traditional paper tags and barcodes, and the public should be concerned as we do not have full information on how the prices are changing. And this bill addresses two things that a lot of us do not like: being spied on and being scammed. I will pause there and see if anyone has any questions regarding this bill.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholson. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your testimony. I was just curious, has any state banned these ESLs yet?
This campaign, several different states are actually introducing the bills these sessions. So we know they've been introduced in Nebraska, Connecticut, New York, and I think there are a few other, and Washington State so far, to my knowledge.
Representative Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Functionally, how does this work? Are they looking for your cell phone when you enter the store? Is it facial recognition? I mean, how would they know to change the price as someone's coming along?
Right. So as the shelves are working, what we understand so far is that, and there are reports that have been out about the prices changing throughout the day. So when you check out and you have those member, I think back in the day, member cards, but now you have member apps. When you're checking out, it starts to collect that history, collect shopping patterns, and then can see during different times of day which customers, what they would be buying, and then tinkering in that cloud capacity with the prices throughout the day, and then eventually pushing those. Kroger has been testing these shelves with facial recognition technology, so that could be a future implementation as well.
Representative Lynn.
So are you saying that you might go to the supermarket in the morning and eggs, cereal, milk would be higher than if you went there in the evening? Or is this actually individualized?
For now, what we have seen so far is, yes, different times, but because again, it can start to filter down into your individual data, the concern is it will start to be personalized pricing. And again, this would not address things like large, like senior discounts, student discounts, because those are big, large group discounts. This is about individualized data.
Representative Hale.
So
you represent what group again, please?
United Food and Commercial Workers International Union.
Okay, so you represent a union group that does pricing and that sort of work, correct?
We represent members that do pricing labels. Yes,
Okay.
that's part of their shifts.
So it would seem to me that there's some conflict of interest there, that you want to keep doing the pricing tags as it is, where we all realize that we're going to more of a digital society. So is this happening in Tennessee?
The electronic shelves, I cannot speak directly if Kroger's rolled them out in this state. I know that they have started since 2018 at about over 2,000 stores. And I will say, yes, we have also talked about with this legislation that it could potentially impact you're correct, our workers' hours. People that do those tags, changing them in and out, that can be potentially hours lost for them. So we have discussed that openly as well.
Okay. If I can,
Yes, sir.
Chairman, I'm sorry. So would this, how would this affect, like, for instance, we've got a food line in where I live in Smithville. So how would that affect my reward program with Food Line?
It wouldn't affect it, but it would help them further hone in on because you have a reward, you're in the reward program, you have a member number. It'll start to pick up on different shopping habits when you check out. And then they're knowing when you're coming into the store, what aisles you may typically be going to. So it's more fine tuning the shopping habits by the member enrolled.
I just have some issues with this so I appreciate your testimony. I appreciate you coming and sharing. But I've also talked to some grocers and stuff that there's some issues with this. So I appreciate it. Chairman, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any more discussion on the bill? Chairman Vaughn.
For our guest,
Yes.
perhaps you could explain to me because how this differs. Like right now, you put in your affinity deal because you want your cheap gas. So you put in your information. But in the meantime, you get the surprise pack in the mail of the free bag of Tostitos because they know you've been buying a bunch of Tostitos, probably more than you should.
This sounds like a personal story, sir.
So my point is that's the non-digital way that grocers are now marketing to their regular customers. It's through the U.S. mail. It's based upon buying habits that I guess they pull off their point of sale data that they collect. Isn't the electronic pricing the next iteration of that? And doesn't that provide an opportunity for, let's say, you may not know it, but our chairman of this committee is one of the foremost vegetable producers in West Tennessee. And if he has trucks of some type of produce, let's just say carrots. Let's say he's got a big truck of carrots headed off to the store, and they find that all the other carrots got worms in them. Shouldn't they be able to take advantage of supply and demand theory here, where whenever they have something that does bring on more value to it, that they're able to adjust the prices as quickly as possible? Or is your contention that prices should remain rather static and that only in the instance that somebody fills out a paper price tag, should a price change be allowed?
I would say to that, the supply, again, like I said before, this is legislation does not want to take away broader discounts. And if there was a supply issue, the issue here is honing in on your specific data and thinking about taking advantage of people who may only be able to shop at certain times of day because of the job that they have, or they may have school pickup for their children or grandchildren. And then how does this not stop further use potentially if there's a storm, an ice storm in Tennessee, and people are rushing to the store to increase those prices? I think what you're talking about is not what we're trying to address. It's more fine tuning to the individual person based on their needs.
Ma'am, if you don't think the bread and milk cartel control the weathermen and the forecasters, it's already taking place. They control the weather broadcast. That's one of my beliefs. That's my boogeyman that's out there is big bread and big milk. I can see why you would be advocating against this. I understand, given your representation of the people that you represent. But at the same time, there's got to be a disconnect for us to say what is the broader application of this, and is it necessarily a bad thing? Now then, if people are being discriminated against based upon their appearance, based upon their financial standing, that type stuff, then I think that's a big, broader question. But if it's the supplier getting changes to pricing more dynamically, I'm having a hard time figuring out what the problem is, and the market will ultimately determine whether or not they've hit that price point or they haven't. And so I appreciate you coming here. Like I said, I'm very fond of our bill sponsor, but those are some of my thoughts on it. But thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Any more discussion on the bill? Well, yes. Oh, with the sponsor. All right. One more question here for you. And like Chairman Vaughn said, I am in the produce business. And one thing, as bad as you want to make it out to be, there's the good side to it. And I just like Chairman Vaughn, I understand who you represent and what you're trying to do. But if you got bad actors, it definitely comes out in the market of people trying to change the price, take advantage. And I don't even know of anybody, especially not anybody up here, that would take into effect that they would want to see price change because of race, religion, social factors, anything like that. So in my line of work, I want to offer the good, just as I hate going up on prices, but the market dictates that. We're the closest to supply and demand as there could possibly be. And right now you've got prices that are sky high all across the produce business. And so what we could offer was I could call my customer, a large chain, and say, hey, look, we've got a contract price for a month. And I'm going to be heavy on zucchini next week. What kind of ad can we do really quick? And being able to change the price on the fly, that goes a long way in my line of work. And like I said, I don't think anybody up here wants to see any prices change because of social factors. But like I said, we appreciate you coming, and we'll go back into session if nobody else has any discussion here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We're back in session. Sponsor, is there any more discussion on the bill with the sponsor? Yes, Representative Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
When I look at your bill, there's two major parts. One prohibits the food retail establishment that's larger than 15,000 square feet from using electronic shelving labels, and they are very handy. I don't see any reason to ban electronic shelving labels. I think what you're really trying to ban is algorithmic pricing, where it would target an individual consumer in the supermarket. So that's, those electronic labels, I've seen them at the grocery store. They're kind of grayish, the letters are grayish. They're not really easy to read if you ask me, but I can see where they would be very efficient for the supermarket. So I'm a little undecided on this bill. And one thing I do want to ask you, does this bill apply to insurance companies? I know it says, you're saying retail, but is there any way it could apply to insurance companies, financial institutions, or banks?
Thank you,
Sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Second question first.
Okay.
No, it does not.
Okay.
And I agree with you on your first point you made, because I feel the same way. I think when the bill was drafted, I didn't realize at the time that was actually what it was doing, is eliminating. That's not what I want to do. So I was planning to go back and amend it, but we had to go ahead and put everything with her schedule to get her here. Because when I go out to Millington to the Navy Exchange, the Navy Commissary, they have electronic pricing, and I like it. But I don't think people should be manipulated because of it. So you are exactly right, and I'm agreeing with you on that. And that's really why I wanted to have a full conversation with the committee so that I can see what your concerns are and then maybe work towards something else that maybe we can agree on. And I know time is short this year, right now, and maybe we can do something next year. I remember, and this is a little bit off from this bill, but I remember when Senator Green and I, back in mid 2000s, so toward 2010, was working on telemedicine. And folk told us, no, ma'am, no, we're not doing that. But now it's a thing. Telehealth is a thing, and we need it. So I guess I'd be trying to look down the road and trying to address things before we actually get to it. So that's why this was important to me, because I don't want people to be manipulated with pricing simply because it's a rush hour. So now it's a rush hour, we're going to go up on these prices, and when, no, I'm just going in to get this one thing. So I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate you listening to the testimony. And if there's any other questions, I'll take them.
Any more questions? Well, I think we're ready to vote.
Oh,
Oh,
I was going to take it off notice.
oh, yes, ma'am. Whatever you need to do.
I mean, I want to be able to work with the members. So let me take it off notice and see what the other concerns are, and I'll address them. I heard some of the questions that you had, and I'd like to try to deal with that, if that's okay with the committee.
Done.
All right, appreciate it.
House Bill 2052 is off notice. We're ready for number 6 here, Leader. House Bill 2051.
Similarly, Mr. Chairman, for discussion, could I have a motion in a second so we can talk about this? Thank you. I appreciate that. This is another one of these situations where, we have those checkout lanes and those go over here and you can check out and go. There's been some problems with theft and things like that as it pertains to those. So what I was trying to do is take a look at how we can make this better for our businesses, but also for the consumer. I have someone to testify on this bill as well. If it's okay, we can hear their testimony, have a discussion, and maybe see how we can address this bill as well, if the committee and the chairman is okay with it.
Chairman, do you want to hold off on your question, or do you? Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you.
We're out of session.
Okay.
And please state your name and who you're with again for the record.
Deja vu. Haley Nicholson. I am the Deputy Legislative Director with the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union. The bill that is being discussed, the Tennessee Safe Stores and Staffed Stores Act, would address, as the member discussed, at self-checkout stations, what we are experiencing is very low staff ratios. So what the bill would do is address, it would ask for a ratio of 1 worker for every 3 self-checkout kiosks in grocery and drugstores. I know many of you are familiar with the self-checkout stations in grocery and drugstores. Often these stations are leaving workers monitoring a self-checkout kiosk at an unreasonable ratio. So for example, 1 worker at this moment could be staffing an entire self-checkout station. That can be up to sometimes them monitoring 12 kiosks by themselves, overwhelming a lot of these workers. At the same time, the workers are also responsible for checking the identification for tobacco or alcohol purchases at these kiosks as well. This can be unreasonable demand sometimes because it's leading to adults stealing items or potentially underage minors stealing items or taking items. In 2013, this legislature did consider a bill, HB 304, that would have banned alcohol sales at self-checkout kiosks. Unfortunately, that bill did fail. So what we're revitalizing is this bill, HB 2051, that would require also that alcohol and tobacco be processed by a retail cashier in a traditionally staffed checkout lane, not at self-checkouts. This protects, again, the items from being stolen or potentially used by underage youth. Grocery and drugstore workers are responsible for checkout, checking IDs on these types of products, and they're also trying to maintain good customer service. If a customer rings up an item incorrectly or there's a discrepancy in the price, the worker has to stop what they're doing to help that person and address the issue, which is their job. But then often those customers can become angry or frustrated, and that can stall a lot of the work, but then also creates the worker potentially being the target of anger for a situation they don't really control. So we feel that this bill will help us do better by our grocery and drugstore workers. It would establish reasonable self-checkout kiosk ratios for grocery and drugstore workers across Tennessee. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholson. Any discussion with our guest? Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
We're back in session. I think Chairman Vaughn has a question here.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry, my wife just texted me an adorable picture of my granddaughter, and I got a little distracted there for a moment.
Grandbabies do that.
Leader, this, again, from the perspective of the interests of the person who testified, her line of work, I understand that if we put in a minimum staffing requirement, then that means more workers, that means more dues paying members. I understand that. But at the same time, us prescribing appropriate staffing levels for private businesses, it seems again like the market's going to take care of that. If shrinkage is bad enough, they'll get some more help in there to take care of it. And if they, I'm just struggling with us prescribing a ratio to telling somebody how to manage something that appears to be their stock and trade of what they do every day. I don't think it falls, at least in my mind, it doesn't fall into worker exploitation because somebody may wish that they had more people at the self-checkout line. So that's my opposition to that, my opposition to this bill. But again, I appreciate you bringing it, and we certainly want to be hospitable to our guests when they come to share their testimony. It's important that people have opportunity to share their ideas. And so anyway, that's my concern on this bill. I just wanted to be able to voice that out loud to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it.
Leader.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman. I appreciate it. And thank you, Chairman Vaughn, for your keen insight. And I understand, your point of view. I was hoping that, I would have an opportunity to talk with some of these establishments and talk through what might be the right numbers, talk through what might be solutions. And I didn't get the chance to do that, but I'll keep working on it. I appreciate that. I'll keep working on it.
Any more? Representative Lynn.
Thank you. I see this as, it's just a management issue at the store. I don't see any constitutional protections that we need to make sure people have. It's just a management issue at the store, and they'll probably lose workers and lose customers too. I know when I go to a store and it's poorly staffed, it's frustrating, and I don't like to go there. So I just don't know that I can support this bill because it just seems like a management issue that we should not get involved in.
Later.
Thank you, Chairman Lynn. I appreciate it. Again, Mr. Chairman and committee members, I appreciate the feedback, discussion, hearing the testimony, and kind of seeing some of the concerns that we're hearing from people in the community. And, my attempt to try to help, save money for some of our business. I mean, we've been losing millions from theft in this state, and trying to find a solution for that. But I really appreciate the support you've given me and hearing me out and willingness to work with me. And again, I'm going to take this off notice, but I appreciate it.
Thank you, Leader.
You're welcome.
House Bill 2051 off notice.
Thank you.
Yes,
Committee
ma'am.
and
Thank
Chair.
you. And I missed one earlier here. House Bill 1468, which is number 8 on our agenda. That'll be rolled for 1 week. Ready for number 9 here. House Bill 2180. Chairman, you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee. This bill, I imagine most of you have checked in through a third-party service to a hotel. Oh, yes, sir.
Hey,
My
we got
apologies.
an amendment on this. What's your drafting code, sir?
I hope I got the right one. 014155.
That's the right one.
All right. Good
Yes,
deal.
sir. All in favor of adding amendment 014155 to the bill, say aye. We're in proper motion or proper procedure now.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, committee. Yes, this bill is an effort just to bring some transparency. If you've ever booked a third-party hotel through a third-party site, you have been shown on that front page the information, the amenities, and things like that. And what got this started for me was the first time I came to Nashville, checked into a hotel, and found out that I had to pay for parking. And I tried to argue with the lady that it didn't say so on the first page, I guess, if you will, of the computer there. And she said, oh, it's there. And later that night, of course, I go back to my room, and on the first page, it says parking available. Parking available sounds to me like I can park. But then you go down to where it says amenities, you click on amenities, you go to the second page, then it says parking available, and it tells you a dollar amount. First time that happened to me, lived and learned, right? That was several years ago. Since then, I've seen it happen repeatedly to people checking in front of me in hotels. Some of these folks coming in from out of state. Some of these folks may be coming in to visit a sick relative, or they may just be coming down here to drink $10 beers. I don't know. But either way, I would like that information to be on the front page so that more people don't continue to show up for our city and then find out, oh my gosh, and I got to pay for parking too. You know, I'm on a budget. I'm just trying to prevent that from happening going forward. So I've talked to the folks that represent the hotels.com group, and they worked with me on this amendment to get this in a posture that everybody could live with. And that's it. I'm trying to get transparency brought to it. That's all.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Representative Hemmer.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, sponsor, for bringing this. It's a well-needed thing. I did the bill to do for concert tickets to do this, and got just tremendous public feedback about bringing that transparency and putting the true cost of the ticket on the front end versus the back end. So I didn't even think about it for hotels. So thank you for your diligence.
Oh, thank you.
Discussion on the bill. Yeah, I think they can bring it back. Any more discussion? Representative Lynn.
So I think I'm a little confused. What is this bill trying to do?
I'm wanting it to be as transparent as possible, that somebody booking a hotel room
Yeah.
in the state of Tennessee using a third-party site knows all of what they're going to be paying when they make their decision to book that hotel room.
Right.
What I've seen happen, literally have watched in front of me, people say, I chose this room based on this rate, and now you're telling me that I also have to pay $20 to park?
Right.
That $20, charge $1 million. I don't care what you charge, as long as the people know before they get to their hotel to check in. Because there's no telling where they've come from, no telling what reasons they've come. And if they're like me, y'all may know I'm a little chintzy. I shop for value. There's some things that I want included in the price of my hotel. I want my parking included. I want my breakfast included. Other than that, I can't afford any higher than that, spa treatment, stuff like that. So I don't go that way. But the purpose is, instead of finding out on page 2 that there's going to be a fee, because it currently says on hotels.com, and I hate to call them out, I feel like I'm picking on them, but it currently says parking available, which to me, hey, come park your car. It doesn't say parking available for a fee. I want that front page to indicate, so that they don't have to dig any further. I want them to know up front what the charges are, what they're going to be paying for their stay at a hotel.
I'm sorry. I was, again, it's really hard to keep websites up to date and all of that. And I don't know if this is, that dire of a consumer protection, defrauding, but I understand what you're saying.
Chairman.
If maybe this will help. if the hotel isn't forthcoming with prices, these third-party sites won't be held liable for that. But this is my first effort to make sure it's just doing the right thing. Don't set somebody up. But there is a provision in the amendment that says that if the hotels aren't being honest with you, that's not the fault of the third-party booking site. So if that helps, you seem like your concern might have been that they could be held responsible for something that they may not have control over, and that's not my intention.
Chairman Hale?
So basically, you're looking at the booking.com, the hotels.com, those services, those third-party services that are sometimes a discounted rate that we think of, and people are booking through them. And what you're trying to do, Chairman, is just simply say, if this hotel charges for breakfast, if they charge for parking, if they charge for any of those amenities, then they need to disclose that up front. Is that kind of what you're trying to do here, Chairman?
Yes, that is correct. And usually, in my experience, and I've been doing this now for 8 years, when I'm booking my hotels over here, usually if there's a charge for breakfast, that's on there. It's the parking one that I see that I have literally watched a dozen people in front of me while checking in going, hey, wait a minute. I didn't know I had to pay for that. It's in the material, but it just says on the first page, parking available. Then you have to go down to where it says amenities. Then you have to click on amenities. And then you have to scroll down through amenities to get to parking. And then when you get to parking, it may say parking for free, parking for $10. There's one in town that I would love to stay at because it's a very nice, actually there's several that are very nice hotels, but it's $40 to park a car overnight. And I'm just not paying $40 to park a car. But if you don't know that going in, if you were like me that first time that I did it, you saw parking available. That's all I need to know. I can park my car. They didn't tell me there was a fee involved. It feels a little.
So basically, when you get there, then you get that surprise of, if I've booked it for 3 nights, 4 nights, and it's $40 a night, I'm $120, $160 more than what I had paid when I booked, thinking that it was available and it was included, but I show up and it's not. And that's what you're trying to address here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chairman.
Speaker Marsh?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I've got 2 questions. One of them is, what is the penalty for not doing this, or for doing it the way they're doing it now? And I can see some hotel putting parking available, and there is parking available on the street for free or down the next block. But if you want to park there, you're going to have to pay. So they're telling you it's parking available, but it's not right where the hotel is. I can see this being a lot of gray area right here. And what is the penalty under your bill if they don't do this? What happens to them?
Chairman?
I did not think that far ahead. Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry.
No, great. It's a great question. That's why we go through this process, right? So that we can get this out and have many minds on it. Mr. Chairman, could I request that we roll this for another week?
Yes, sir. House Bill 2180 will be rolled 1 week.
Thank you, sir.
We're ready for number 10 here. Chairman Moon on House Bill 2123. We got a motion? Okay. Chairman, please tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee, this legislation is brought forward on behalf of the elevator mechanics industry. The bill will require new installations of elevators in private residence only to receive a final inspection from the state's chief elevator inspector. All commercial elevators receive the same inspection, and this puts the residential elevators in the same posture. Why are we bringing this bill? Currently, as you know, commercial elevators are regularly inspected. At this time, if you put an elevator in your residence, it is never officially inspected. If something happens, then the elevator manufacturer, the installer, and you as the owner are at great risk. This would only apply for new installations in residence. A resident is a location that's not open to the public. That's in the definition. Currently, there's 13 states that require an inspection of a private residence elevator. They include Alabama, Georgia, and Kentucky. This bill will save lives and people that are going to be seriously injured. So I request your positive vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any discussion on the bill? Representative or Chairman Hale.
So many times, I'll ask it this way. So would this include like cabins that are built, for instance, in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg? They're built for a private person. Then they turn around and put them on Airbnb or whatever, and they're renting. Because when we stay somewhere, that's one of the first things that I have to look at to see if they've got an elevator. And for me to know that that elevator has been inspected makes me feel a whole lot better than one that hadn't been, you know. So would that include something like that for those?
Sponsor.
Chairman Hale, absolutely. And the proliferation of an older aging population in our state, but secondly, the proliferation of short-term rentals. And some of the fatalities have occurred in rentals in the state just east of Tennessee.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chairman.
Representative Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So right now, there's no inspection on residential elevators. I thought I heard you say that.
Chairman.
That's absolutely correct.
Wow. Is the department in favor of this bill? Just not that it matters, but I'm just curious.
The stakeholders, Department of Labor has been involved in the writing of this legislation.
Okay, thank you.
Speaker Marsh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And talking about this earlier, I understand it's a one-time inspection when it's put in a new home or if it's put in an existing home. It's a one-time inspection when it's put in. I understand it's like $250, which if you're going to put an elevator in, $250 is very reasonable to have it, you know, to make sure it's in good shape. So I'm glad you brought this.
Chairman.
Thank you, Speaker Marsh, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more discussion on the bill? Well, I think we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, will you open up the vote? All those in favor of House Bill 2123, moving on to commerce, vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
House Bill 2123 will move on to commerce.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members.
We're number 14. No. We're ready for number 14, House Bill 2060. Do we have a motion and a second?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sponsor, please proceed.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, the members, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what we're doing here. This is a bill that really scares me to have to bring it. And what it does, it prevents banks from creating cryptocurrency out of our holdings in the bank, our bank accounts, converting our money to digital currency. Okay, if I tender $1,000 in the bank, or if I put $200,000 in the bank, I don't want my money converted like most of the citizens I've talked with don't want their money converted without them actually saying that it's okay. Now, what happens with this, and I'm not anti-cryptocurrency because I have them, but I'm talking about money that's in the bank. What happens is that your money at that point is extremely trackable. Everything you do is tracked. I mean, not that you have anything to hide, but you don't want everybody tracking your transaction that you have in the bank if it's digitized. And the other thing is this, is that, believe it or not, unfortunately, with technology, it could just be switched off. I think they do that possibly now in China now, they can just switch your money off, like your credit card, just be switched off. So you don't have access to it. This scares me that this is happening and we have no say-so about it. And I would ask anyone that would prefer their money being digitized without their knowledge to acknowledge it. And I don't think anybody's going to come forth to try to acknowledge that they would like their money to be digitized without it being presented to you. I personally don't want any of my accounts digitized. I just don't. And my meetings in the community, people don't want that. But in essence, that's what it does. And it describes some penalties if something happens, you know, if it does happen, you know, the penalties happen to go along with that, which is up to $1,000 for each transaction. But it basically is preventing your money from being digitized without you saying so. Okay, that's it in essence.
Thank you, Representative. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Lynn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative Towns.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you saying that if you transfer US dollars or deposit US dollars into a bank or an account, that the institution might, you know, money is fungible, but I mean, they take money on deposit and they might convert it into crypto. But when your understanding is, I mean, well, we all have deposit accounts and checking accounts. Our understanding is if I deposit US dollars, when I spend that money or take that money out, I'm getting US dollars, not crypto. So it really doesn't make any difference to me if I deposit and they turn it into whatever. It might be overnight investments or something like that. It doesn't really make any difference to me what they do as long as when I get my money back, it is US dollars. That's what I'm expecting.
Representative Towns.
And I'm with you, Madam Chair. I don't care, and we want them to leverage and do investment, do good things for us. We deserve that. They make money. We want to make money as well. But I don't want my account, or people don't want their accounts to be what you do with your money is nobody's business. Okay. You want your transaction, when you decide to transact business, that's your business between you and whoever you dealing with, whatever creditor, whatever, you know, person, whatever nonprofit organization, that's your business. And it shouldn't be tracked like that. Now, you have a record of anything you want. If you write a check, there's a record of it. If you go with a credit card and transact, you got a record of it for yourself, but the bank shouldn't have that access. But I agree with you. I want my money to be returned to me in dollars, good old fashioned American greenbacks. Okay. And that's what this seeks to do, to make sure we do receive it like that.
Chairman Vaughn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to my esteemed Shelby County colleague. When I read this, and you don't have any definitions in your bill, but it says into digital currency, isn't after we deposit our dollars into a bank, doesn't it become digitized? Because we aren't expecting, just like when they send you your bank statement, it's produced based upon the account balance, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean that money is accounted for by dollars held on that bank's premises at that time. The way the accounting systems are digital. And so that's one of my concerns about this bill. The other thing is finding out, are you aware of where somebody's, any instances where somebody's money was converted into cryptocurrency against their will by a bank?
Representative.
Well, there's a federal bill that has passed, and I'll get to that bill that makes it possible. It has not been enacted at the state levels that I'm familiar with yet. Okay. But yes, the federal government has actually passed it. That's exactly right. And I'll provide that for you, which is spooky, you know, and I'm not anti them digitizing this, that, and other, but when I go to the bank, I want to be able to get my money, old fashioned cash or whatever I put it in there is. But yeah, I would be more than happy to bring that by the office.
Mr. Chairman, as big as this man's bankroll is, he's got to give me a couple of weeks to pick before he goes and withdraws his account.
I play with Monopoly money. You already know that. I really do.
To the member, I can't support your bill. I just want to be upfront with you. I don't want to be a surprise vote up there because I think it's the descriptions in it are too broad and too undefined. And again, I want to see your bill on or the federal information, but
Okay.
I'm not aware. And I've talked with our colleagues at the TBA, and they're not aware of any banks that are out there doing this. And so, given that, I don't want to hamstring them to where they're looking at each other going, "Well, thanks, guys. Y'all just upended our entire accounting system because of we're trying to meet the letter of the definition of what it is that you just passed." And so that's my concerns.
Representative.
Look, and you have been one of my part-time leaders, especially and until you talking about Memphis and basketball and who's the best. And I respect your opinion. Okay. So what I'd like to do is this. I want to, if you don't mind, roll it, and I'm going to bring that information to you because I'd love for you to see it. Because I don't think we want to make that mistake where banks have control of our money, whereas I don't receive it like I gave it to you. So I'd love to, Mr. Chairman, if I can, roll it and I'll get that information for you.
We will oblige you. House Bill
Yes, sir.
2060 will roll 1 week.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Thank you. Yes, sir.
We're now ready for House Bill 2213. We'll roll 2213 to the hill. Let me reconsider my thoughts there. House Bill 2213. Do we have a motion and a second?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. So if I could, go into some description about the bill. So this is a worker safety reporting that I think would benefit everybody. Safe workplaces are productive workplaces, Mr. Chairman. The bill protects workers who raise legitimate safety concerns. Responsible employers already operate this way. The bill ensures bad actors cannot gain an advantage by silencing workers. When workers are afraid to report hazards, unsafe conditions persist and put workers, consumers, and the public at risk. This bill strengthens Tennessee's existing whistleblower protections rather than creating a new regulatory system. Clarifies protections for workers reporting unsafe conditions, wage theft, or labor violations, and preserves employer protections for good faith compliance with federal and state law. Finally, it improves the existing framework without expanding government bureaucracy. And really does make sure that we have free, supportive markets where we can be safe and productive work environments. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sponsor. Any discussion on the bill? I think we're ready to vote here. Madam Clerk, please open up the vote. All those in favor of 2213 moving on to commerce, vote aye. All those opposed, vote no. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 ayes and 2 noes.
House Bill 2213 will be moving on to commerce.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're ready for House Bill 2248. We will roll House Bill 2248 to the hill. We're now ready for item number 18, House Bill 2004. Do we have a motion and a second?
Motion.
House Bill 2004, please discuss your bill.
Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee. I actually did a little bit of work on this bill, but I still feel like it might need a little more work. But it's something I personally was interested in, but I also want to make sure it's as applicable as possible. So I'm going to take this off notice.
Off notice? Yeah. House Bill 2004 is officially off notice. Now we're ready for item number 19, House Bill 2382 by Chairman Vaughn. Chairman Vaughn, please tell us about your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill is the Reverse Mortgage Innovation Act. Back in the day, I forget who it was.
Sorry to interrupt. Do we have an amendment on that?
Yes, sir, we do. Man, I was about to pick up steam, though. Glad you stopped me.
I had to get in front of you.
Amendment Code 013579.
All those in favor of Amendment Code 13579, added to the bill, vote aye. Amendments on. Chairman, you're ready to go.
All righty, thank you. So remember there was a washed up actor that used to always do an actor beyond his prime, I guess would be a better, kinder way of saying it, that used to always do reverse mortgage commercials on the radio and on TV. And I kind of used to have a little bit of a distaste for it because I thought, well, this has got to be a little bit sketchy. But then lo and behold, I had a family friend whose husband died. They had a ton of equity in her home, and a reverse mortgage was actually very instrumental in helping her transition into a life by herself because of the access to the cash within that home. And so what this bill does is it modernizes the law to where it recognizes all reverse mortgages. Prior to this, only thing approved for use in Tennessee were an FHA insured loans. It allows reverse mortgages on homes that exceed FHA maximum lending limits. It expands eligibilities to borrowers as young as 55 years old compared to FHA having a 62-year-old age limit. Provides access for homeowners living in condos that don't meet FHA guidelines, and prohibits cross-selling of annuities and insurances tied to a reverse mortgage, and preserves strong consumer protections, including counseling before entering into it, as well as the non-recourse limits. And so with that, Mr. Chairman, that's what it does. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr.
Basically,
Chair.
we're modernizing the act with regards to reverse mortgages.
Yes, sir. Any discussion on the bill? Well, I think we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, please open up the vote. All those in favor of House Bill 2382, moving on to commerce, vote aye. Those opposed, vote no. Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
House Bill 2382 will be moving on to commerce. And then we're ready for House Bill 2039. All right. Who do we have on the Johnson? She's out.
Yes.
Do I? No. With the one with the Johnson bill, do I have to do anything? Or is it automatically on to the next case? We will have to. Okay. What do you think? You got 15 minutes. Let me. We're going to roll. We got other members that's got to go present bills. So we're going to call it a day. We'll roll House Bill 2039 to next week. And we'll also roll item number 21, House Bill 26111 to next week also. And we've got to roll another bill. House Bill 2248 will be rolled to next week also. And all we need now is a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.